A private limited company, LTD, is one of the most popular and flexible business structures in the United Kingdom. It is a separate legal entity from its owners and provides limited liability protection to its shareholders. Key characteristics of a private limited company, LTD. 1. Separate legal entity. Distinct identity. A private limited company is a separate legal entity from its owners, shareholders. This means the company can own property, enter into contracts, sue, and be sued in its own name. Perpetual succession. The company continues to exist even if the ownership or management changes, ensuring business continuity. 2. Limited liability shareholder protection. Shareholders' liability is limited to the amount they have invested in shares. Personal assets are protected from the company's debts and liabilities. Risk mitigation. Limited liability reduces the financial risk for investors, encouraging investment and entrepreneurship. 3. Ownership and shareholding. Shareholders. Ownership of the company is divided into shares held by shareholders. Shares represent ownership interests and confer certain rights, such as voting and dividend entitlements. Private ownership. Shares cannot be publicly traded and are typically offered to private individuals or entities. Transfers of shares are subject to restrictions outlined in the company's Articles of Association. 4. Management Structure Board of Directors. The company is managed by a board of directors appointed by the shareholders. Directors are responsible for the day-to-day operations and strategic direction of the company. Shareholder meetings. Regular shareholder meetings are held to make significant decisions and approve major actions, such as adopting the annual financial statements or appointing auditors. Formation process of a private limited company, LT. 1. Company name. Choosing a name. Select a unique name for the company. The name must not be identical or too similar to an existing company name and must end with limited or lited. Name restrictions. Certain words and phrases are restricted and require approval from specific authorities, e.g., Royal Bank. 2. Articles of Association governing document. Prepare and adopt the Articles of Association, which outline the rules for running the company. This document covers matters such as the powers of directors, the rights of shareholders, and the conduct of meetings. Model articles. Companies House provides model articles that can be adopted or modified to suit specific needs. 3. Company registration. Companies House. Register the company with Companies House by submitting the necessary forms and documents such as the Articles of Association, Memorandum of Association, and Application Form IN01. Registration fee. Pay the required registration fee. 4. Directors and Company Secretary appointment. Appoint at least one director, who must be a natural person. The appointment of a company secretary is optional, although it can be beneficial for corporate governance. Director consent. Obtain written consent from the appointed directors to act in their capacity. 5. Registered office address. Official address. Provide a registered office address in the UK where official correspondence and legal documents can be served. 6. Share capital. Initial shares. Determine the initial share capital and allocate shares to the founding shareholders. Specify the total number of shares and their nominal value in the company formation documents. 7. Incorporation certificate issuance. Upon successful registration, Companies House issues a certificate of incorporation, officially recognizing the company as a legal entity. Advantages of a private limited company, LTE. 1. Limited liability risk protection. Shareholders' personal assets are protected, reducing financial risk. Encourages investment. Limited liability makes the company more attractive to investors and lenders. 2. Separate legal entity business continuity. The company continues to exist independently of its shareholders and directors. Contractual rights. The company can enter into contracts, own property, and conduct business in its own name. 3. Capital raising equity financing. The company can raise capital by issuing shares to investors. Investor attraction. The formal structure and shareholder protection make it easier to attract investors and secure funding. 4. Tax efficiency. Corporate tax rates. Companies are subject to corporate tax rates, which can be lower than personal income tax rates. Tax planning. Opportunities for tax planning and optimization, such as claiming allowable business expenses and deductions.